So welcome to our new segment, Hanging with Hear2Zen. Congrats on the new album. It's great. It's just straight up rock. I love it. When it comes time to share a new album with the world, are you the person that's excited? Are you nervous? Like, what's that feeling like for you?
Well, definitely excited. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, this is my 16th record, so I'm 1/16 less excited than I was about my first record. But yeah, I mean, it's a good record, and I'm glad people, dig it.
Sure. And as you said, your 16th album. They always say you've got forever to write your first album, and far less time to write the ones that come after. So, when did you start putting the songs together for this one?
Kind of around lockdown-ish time. So I put it together and recorded it, and yeah, lockdown was a good time to make a record for sure.
Excellent. And who have you got joining you on the album?
Well, a lot of the usual suspects: Darren Householder on guitar, Dave Moreno on drums, two of my English guys, Stevie Pierce and Christian Kimmett, play on some of the songs too, and me.
And you. Now, a lot of people only know you as a singer, but I love checking out your YouTube and watching you guide people through like things like writing songs and things like that. People don't realize, like, well, I know I didn't realize until I watched how great a guitar player you were. So, like, when did you actually start playing guitar?
I play guitar. I'm not a guitar player. that's a definite. I don't know. I for a long time, I mean, you have to, if you want to write songs, obviously, you need to be somewhat skilled.
Yep. Now, you've got a really good mix of songs on this album, which I think it doesn't happen a lot these days. I think a lot of people go into a formula and it's going to be this, and they just go through the entire album like that. Especially you've got a song that you wrote for your brother. Now, is that a cathartic experience or more challenging?
Well, I tried a couple of times to write a song for him, and they ended up kind of sounding like Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. I mean, it just kind of wasn't, it was a little too sappy. It wasn't what I wanted to do. So I ended up on the song Hard to Say Goodbye. It was it was heartfelt, but it also rocked. You know what I mean? It wasn't dirgy and kind of goofy. So yeah.
Was it a long one to put together in the end if you went through a couple of attempts at it?
Well, when I sit down and write a song, you don't always hit a home run every single time. And with that song specifically, it was a couple of tries before I got it right.
With your songwriting though, have you ever had a song that you've, say, written years ago and then you're like, I've got to do something with that. I've got to do something with that. And then it's just come to you to finish it, like,
Not really. When I sit down to write a record, I pretty much immerse myself in that whatever amount of time, a month or 2 months. And it's usually, I don't usually use stuff that's been sitting around. It's usually, if I haven't used it, it's probably not good enough.
Sure. What songs do you plan on bringing the album, from the album to the live stage when you tour with it?
Don't know. I'm doing a lot of touring with Quiet Riot right now. So as far as touring with Love Hate, I just, don't know.
Sure. And what does the name Love Hate mean to you in 2022 as opposed to when you started?
Well, the name Love Hate came from a song that we wrote way back in 1986, probably before your time, before, electricity and running water. I don't know. It just ends up, I could try and give you the Zen definition of, you know, but really it ended up being a good description of our band. You know, I mean, we did love and we did hate.
Okay, so as a child of the 70s that grew up in the 80s, when I think some of the great music came out and some absolute trash came out, the one thing that did come out were albums. And you said you want your fans to listen to this as an album. How hard is it for you as a writer and performer to really focus on a whole album when you know people only want singles in this day and age?
You know, I just, I grew up listening to records as records. And so the idea of putting out a bunch of singles and focusing on that really has never appealed to me. I just try and write the best songs I can and put them in the best order and have a nice flow and hope people listen to it. When I say listen to it as a record, it means that I think that there isn't really any throwaway shit on it. You know, I think that it's worthy of a listen as a record. That's all.
Yep. And as the listener, to me, this album is one that actually has the fat trimmed well off it before release. So you've got no dead air, no dead track. So like when I listen to it as the consumer, I can tell that you've actually put quite a bit of thought into that track order. And track order is important to me. So was there one that just sort of was hard to get in its right place for the album for you?
I don't, not really. I just kind of, I put set track orders like I did on Blackout, like I did on Wasted. It's all just intuitive, what I think is right, where I think something should go. That's it. I mean, I may not be 100% right, but you know, I do have a good sense of that, I think.
Sure. And you're also an author. I'm sure many people know that by now. So do you think it's harder to write a book or harder to write an album?
They're both hard for different reasons. Writing a book is hard because it takes a lot of time. Writing a record, well, I guess that takes a lot of time too. So the answer to your question is they're both hard.
Great. I was watching one of your recent videos about Vegas, and as a fan of the city, I have many friends that live there. What do you think the biggest misconception that people have of Las Vegas is?
Is that everyone who lives here has an alcohol or a gambling problem. It's actually a small town, you know, and if most locals don't really go to the Strip, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a tourist area and we just don't really hassle it. I mean, I'm sure there are people that go out and party and get wasted all night and gamble, but I don't, you know what I mean? I just kind of stick to myself and stay away from all that stuff. My YouTube channel, Jpearl TV, I got it because you're mentioning it. It's My YouTube channel is Jpearl TV for anyone that wants to check it out.
And they should check it out because it gives not only good insights into you, but as a person, but insight into your life as an artist and what happens with your day-to-day kind of thing. Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize bands are notoriously in the state of hurry up and wait, and many airport lounges and traveling for a 2-hour show. So I think everyone should check out the YouTube channel. Besides the song about your brother, is there one song on the album that really means a lot to you?
Oh, well, there's songs that sort of reference my life with my wife and stuff like that. So, you know, Acid Babe is a song about my wife, and there's other songs. Lonely Days Are Gone is sort of talking about the state of being married and being okay with it. You know what I mean? Having done all the hound dog stuff in the past and not missing it and enjoying being settled and married and comfortable. So, yeah.
And you mentioned Acid Babe, and so it's a love song in the most untraditional way for me, because it's not like your power ballad. It's not,
well, it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tongue in cheek. I like I said, I don't write love songs in the traditional Kip Winger formula. It's just not my thing. I'm not good at it. So I just kind of, when I do write songs about women and stuff like that, or my wife at the time, it's kind of, it's the way I do it. I don't know.
Sure. And as you say, you do have a lot of shows traveling throughout the year. So what is kind of next on the horizon for you as a solo artist? Like looking at making more music, maybe, going out and doing a limited sort of run acoustic kind of tour, coming to Australia maybe next year?
Well, I had 2 tours cancel in Australia last year, I think it was. Yeah, last year I was supposed to come out there for my first Love-Hate shows, and unfortunately they got canceled. Right now I'm just doing the tour with Quiet Riot and doing this YouTube channel. That's a very creative way of expressing myself. Like you said, I have some books available, and this record just came out. So, I've been staying pretty busy.
And what are you listening to at the moment?
You talking to me.
Perfect.